Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. I'm here with my co-host Daniel Cheney, and we're joined by AJ Lawton.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
And Tony Donohue.
Can't wait to open these cards that I bought. Burning a hole in my pocket.
Yeah. So we're sitting in turn 1 of IMS right now, so it's kind of loud. Excuse it, but it's gonna be okay. So
That's what we're talking about.
we just kind of wanted to get started, and we just wanted to talk about this past week at IMS, the GP practices, who we think is the best so far, who's looking good, who could be some underdogs, and qualifying picks, any 500 picks. So let's get into it. Daniel, I want you to start off with who you think is looking the best currently over this past week of practice.
So, big thing I've noticed, and I know it's not very odd of a pick to say this, but I think it's very clear to say Penske knows what they're doing. Penske's having a great week so far. I don't know how much of it has to do with their partnership with Foyt. Obviously, Foyt had a really good year last year, and it kind of seems like Foyt's not having that great of a year this year. So I don't know how much of that partnership has to do with that, but I am intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what kind of comes out of that, because Penske looks strong. They're the defending winners. Newgarden looks fast. McLaughlin looks fast. Will Power looks fast. None of the Foyt guys really look fast. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, but I wonder what you guys are thinking about that.
For me, I think that Penske has given a lot of information to Foyt. Foyt doesn't really need to change much. I mean, Benjamin Peterson was the fastest rookie qualifier last year. Santino Ferrucci started 4th, finished 3rd. And it almost seems like with all the information they've gotten from Penske, they've gone back a few steps, and it looks like Penske's obviously gone up a few steps. Right now, currently, a lot of practice still yet to be had. You've got Penske drivers 1, 2, and 3, and it seems like the distractions that started at the beginning of the month, the push to pass incident, kind of all behind them now. But it seems like, with the whatever you want to call it, the joint venture with Foyt and Team Penske that we saw in the offseason coming together, it's certainly benefited Team Penske because Michael Cannon, who is the engineer and sets up the car for Santino Ferrucci, is one of the best to get a car fast around this racetrack. And it's really benefited Penske, and I've yet to see it really benefit Foyt.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah,
what do you guys have to say?
I think Foyt's really taken a big regression since last season, in my honest opinion. Especially coming out here to the 500, seeing Santino Ferrucci run 3rd last year. Right? Yeah. And this year they're just nowhere to be found, really.
Yeah, and as Stingray Rob goes by us, he's one of the guys that we're going to talk about kind of on the outside looking in. Is he going to be the driver who misses? About 30 minutes ago from my recording here, Nolan Siegel hit the wall coming off of turn number 2. Flips upside down. The cars are so much lighter this year that it just easily got up off the ground after it got turned sideways.
Terrible wreck.
Parts are of a premium, right? And Dale Coyne Racing's not a team that probably has a lot of parts, so they're probably scrapping off of the road course car that they ran. I think they probably only have 3 chassis, 3 tubs. So it'll be really interesting to see if Nolan Siegel, he's not going to get back out today, but if tomorrow, there is a 2-hour practice tomorrow. So the Dale Coyne Racing, that 18 team, they're going to be up all night. But look, this is a team that has had speed. Malukas has been pretty good in this car the last 2 years.
But with HMD funding as well.
And then this is the car that was set up 2 years ago. They're still using Takuma Sato's throttle traces and how he set up the car. So they have it all there, but it's just like, can you get it together in the next 24 hours? I think Nolan Siegel is the only driver that's hoping for a later draw on the day just to try to go out and get it in the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think some of the Andretti guys have looked good, at least just during the week. At least Colton Hurd has looked great. I think they need to make some changes to have a good qualifying car. But in terms of like pure race pace, I think they could do some damage come next couple Sundays. I think some of the McLaren guys, they obviously look good. Kyle Larson looks decent. I don't think my hot take is I don't think he'll qualify good, but I don't think he'll beat Kurt Busch's P6 from 2014.
Absolutely.
I think those McLarens,
That's a big take.
They come up short, much like some of the Ed Carpenter guys. They've come up short, and it's all about putting a perfect race together. And I can't see McLaren putting a full race together. I can see some of the Andretti guys putting a full race together.
But that Kyle Larson kid, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's that Kyle Larson kid. What are you talking about?
Something that I thought was interesting earlier today, they had mentioned Kyle Larson's hard out time. And obviously things will change if he wins Indianapolis 500. And more than likely, I think it's been mentioned Kevin Harvick could be on standby. 4:15 is his hard out. Now, remember last year we had all the red flags at the end, the checkered flag wave last year. 4:14. 2 years ago, it was at 3:44. And if you remember 2 years ago, that was a race where like the first 75, 80 laps are all run under green. It took a while to get to that first yellow. 2021, I think it was a push back. I think the green flag there was at 1:15, if I'm not mistaken, instead of the normal 12:20. So that one you can't really tell, but it might be close for Kyle Larson.
I just see a bunch of the Chevys up front right now for this past week. But I don't know how that's going to translate because I think a lot of the Honda guys are running a setup for tomorrow, and that's why they're not as fast, and they haven't been at the top of the charts all week really. So, and I think the Chevy guys are kind of testing for now, and they're trying to figure out some temperature change things maybe. I don't know.
And the thing with the Hondas too is they're so good on fuel mileage. Their race base is going to be fine. A guy that I don't think has been mentioned enough that's really good at race driven practice, but Elio Castroneves. A lot of different people that I've talked to said he can move around when he wants out on the racetrack. And look, what an incredible feat it would be. We thought this place went nuts last year when Joseph went into the bleachers with that celebration. This place would go absolutely honkers if Elio Castroneves won his fifth.
But, that's honestly, I think Elio getting his fifth, I still don't know if that's the loudest this crowd will get. Could you imagine if the first Hoosier in, 80-something years, Connor Daly can finally put it together?
Ed Carpenter's a Hoosier too, baby.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, that's true.
Don't forget Ed Carpenter. You can't forget Ed Carpenter.
I know. I just feel like Ed, he's had his era where he's kind of been in the mix. I don't really know if he's in it anymore. Connor Daly, though, recently, past, 2-3 years, he's been putting it together, even if it's just for a lap or two. This place goes nuts every time he takes the lead.
Yeah.
I genuinely think you could probably hear the crowd from Illinois if he wins this race.
Yeah.
I got the full field from last year. Remember we were out there for that picture?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We were out there. Felix was late, so everybody was
like
like,
up 2 straight packs and got the same Coleman or the picture.
I'll raise you the Connor Daly thing. Marco Andretti, somehow, some way.
oh, yeah.
If he pulls it together.
I could see that.
I just mentioned it on this show. Benjamin Peterson last year put up the fastest speed as a rookie, and there it is. I got the car
on the
for
track.
it.
Wow.
We're just predicting things left and right. No autographs.
oh, wow.
No Benjamin Peterson. 2 Yuri Vips. So there you go. Didn't get much. But these guys, I know you guys probably talked about them, and they came out a few months ago, but I have enjoyed the way these cards looked. Some of them, these chrome type cards, hard to get autographed, but they're super cool.
They look beautiful.
I feel like they should have came out with a bigger batch of them because you get a lot of repeats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought a case. It was like $89 on their website. I ended up getting 3 hits. I got a Jack Harvey autograph. I got a Pato Award autograph. I got an Alexander Rossi out of 10. So
okay.
I think you're guaranteed 2 autos, but I got 3 in my pack. So
there you go.
But I'm gonna give. There's a kid right there. I'm gonna give him a couple. So we'll give out some of these to some of the kids around here after their parents give us permission, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But all right, so now let's transition. Let's transition into this weekend for qualifying. Who is your pick for pole? Let's go, Daniel.
Pole pick. I already talked about him. I already said I really like this team's chances. I think it's going to be a Penske guy. All 3 drivers have been in the top 4 pretty much every day at some point. It's just a matter of which one I want to go with. I'm going to go the yellow submarine. I'm going to go with Scott McLaughlin getting the pole.
Okay.
I think even though he's had weird luck here when he's run here, speed is speed. Speed is speed, fast is fast. He's been fast so far. I think he can keep it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Tony.
For me, it's going to be interesting. A guy that we kind of haven't really talked about. It was with a team that's won this race, and a guy who qualified in the front row last year. I'm really interested to see what Felix Rosenquist can do. Because he's qualified super well, obviously in the front row last year. When we left last Saturday night, he was P1, got shuffled down to the third position.
Absolutely.
Felix is going to be right there. I mean, it's a great point, Daniel. Like, Penske's right there, right? They haven't qualified well here over the last couple of years. Joseph won this race last year from 18th spot, I believe. So you can win it from anywhere inside of the top 20. My pole pick right now, you got to go with the Chevy based on what we see. We're recording this halfway through Fast Friday. I'm going to go Pato on pole. Give me Pato.
That was my pick too. Yeah, that was my pick
Give
too.
me Pato. He's been right there. He's right there.
I think Alex Rossi might have something, depending on the conditions. He had a good 4-lap average earlier.
I did see that.
Obviously, I think the weather's changed a little bit, but I think Alex Rossi, he said multiple times this year he's had one of the best cars in the field. They just haven't put the results together.
Yeah.
I think he can maybe get on the pole, and I think he might have a decent race.
Okay. Yeah. But I agree with Tony.
Yeah.
My pick for the 500 pole is going to be Pato Award. Just Pato runs really well here. I haven't seen much of his 4-lap averages here recently to know off the top of my head what it is. But I just know Pato runs really well here, and I want Pato to get the pole. I want to see Pato on the pole. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Well, I think it would be a cool storyline. He's one of the most popular drivers in IndyCar, as we know. The CW loves him just as much as they love
There's
Joseph
little
Newgarden.
kids out here chanting, "We want Pato!" the other day.
And everybody is a big fan of Pato. That would be big. And I think it would be big for McLaren too, right? Like Pato Award, he's won a race this year, but he hasn't led a lap after the penalties in St. Pete.
Yeah.
And I think the four of us for sure, and a lot of people here that cover this sport, waiting for McLaren to break through and get that win again. I mean, Pato's been on the podium.
It's been a while.
Here at the 500, if there's a podium. Here at the road course race, he's been on the podium. Rossi probably hasn't had the best results moving over to that team to start of last year. But Rossi was still top 5 in the 500 last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much a Colin Milot and a Kyle Larson bring to the table just because they're inexperienced. They're both fast. I think Colin Milot's going to be in the top 12. I think he's a sleeper pick to contend for the win.
For sure.
But, like Pato and Rossi are the two high-level experienced guys at that team.
That's where the experience is going to come from for this race. It has to.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they make a very interesting case for it. There's just something with McLaren. I don't know.
Quiet down, Alan Deswick.
I don't know if it just has to do with luck or putting things together, or maybe it's all the drama that they tend to be in all the time, kind of being in the back of their head. There's just something that seems to be holding them back every month of May. Yeah. I don't know what it is, and I'm interested to see if they can finally put it together.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
And look, to win this race, I think what we've heard a lot from the drivers talking this week is the qualifying draw tonight. That's important. You want to go out early. You want to be able to start up towards the front. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get caught up in can I cuss? Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
What a lot of drivers call getting caught up in the shit, right? Like you're in the back. There's a lot of dirty air. And Connor Daly told me yesterday, he goes, yeah, you can win it from anywhere top 20, but if you don't want your first stint to just be a pain in the ass, you want to start up towards the front. So,
right.
And again, like we've talked about, you got to put 500 perfect miles together, and that not only includes you being perfect, it includes your crew being perfect, and having some luck where you don't get caught up in somebody else's mess. I mean, look at obviously last year Alex Palou had the best car, gets caught up in Arenas VKs.
A few years ago, Graham Rahal, his
Graham.
team losing that lug nut, crashed right
Kyle
over here.
Kirkwood last year was on rails in one of the best cars towards the end of that race, and he gets involved in that accident. So, it takes a lot, and this race really seems to favor a little bit of the older side of the drivers and the drivers that are smooth and have been here before. Joseph Newgarden, into his 30s now. He's been running here since 2012. Marcus Ericsson, plenty of Formula One experience. has been running the 500 for a couple years in his 30s. Elio, obviously. Sato, Pagano, Sato again. Will Power in there as well. Those are all drivers in their 30s. This is usually the race winner here is a mature driver, which is easy to say, I guess, but sometimes you don't think about it.
And now to transition off of that point, who is your guys' pick to win the 500? And I feel like this could be an interesting one because this place peaks its winner.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Last year.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Except for last year. But I want to know who you guys pick, not the track. I want to know who you guys pick.
Ooh, okay.
So
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's tough.
it's tough. It's hard to pick.
I'll
here.
have to go Will Power. I've kind of had a feeling.
Yeah.
Will Power.
It's a good pick.
I don't know why. He's been right there. I think every single week this season, almost every single race. He's just gotta get that little hump, and I don't know. I think this something in my gut tells me this is a Will Power year. I think we're gonna see. I think we're due for a repeat winner. We've had a string of couple of first time winners, and usually stuff like this comes in waves with the 500. You get a string of first timers, then you get a string of repeats here and there. I think we gotta have a repeat winner. I think it's time. I think Will Power might get it done.
Okay.
It's hard to go back to back, so I usually eliminate Joseph. The pole sitter rarely wins here. I think Simon Pagano is the only pole sitter to win here since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult to win from that spot. Marcus Ericsson, Andretti Autosport, Colton Herta, Kyle Kirkwood, I think are going to be around. I think Marcus Ericsson might be a few steps back after that crash on Thursday as he comes here behind us.
The Will Power pick I like. I've seen what I would say a resurgence from Will Power. Everything at home seems to be settled. His wife seems to be doing a lot better. She seems to be at the racetrack. Seems like that's calmed Will Power a lot. So I do like that pick.
He's got to get that drive in him a little bit of confidence, a little bit.
But somebody who
100%.
I've seen kind of ticked off this week and really, really ready to go. And I think, you talk about a repeat winner. I think Scott Dixon. I think it's Scott Dixon. It seems like this place is snake bit him. When I talk about betting on the 500, I usually fade him because something happens. He's at the best car how many years and he hasn't got it done.
I just cannot see this man who is the greatest of definitely your guys' generation. Certainly, I flirted with some of the other big names when I was a young kid, a wee lad. But man,
You're still young, Tony. Stop it.
I'm middle aged now at 35. I still have what you kids call Riz, though. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that's true.
But I Palou is going to be right there too, right? But what I've seen out of Scott Dixon so far this week, I think he's going to be on the front row or at least in those front two rows. Give me Scott Dixon to get it done.
Okay. Daniel, let's hear it.
Okay, so
Don't say Santino.
No. Was not planning on it. As you guys know, every year there tends to be one driver that I have a feeling about it. 2
And
years
last
ago
year
it
was
was Tony Kanaan.
Dalton Kellett.
Last year,
Yeah, it was Dalton
Felix
Kellett.
Rosenquist. This year, I've yet to figure out.
2 years ago, who was it?
It was Kanaan.
Okay.
I don't really know who I have that feeling about yet. I still got to watch more practice. We've only had a limited time out here.
Honestly, I'm surprised there's
go
not
against
more people
Palou.
today.
It's hard to go against Palou. But if I'm not going to go Palou, because I know it's very cliche, again, we were saying it feels like it's time for a repeat winner. And even though I was kind of discrediting their team a little bit earlier, because I think they tend to get caught up in their own mess, I just feel like Alex Rossi's got to get a second.
Yeah.
He just seems like one of those guys that's going to get that second, solidify his career, and then whatever else he does the rest of his career, it does not matter.
Yeah.
He's got that second win.
Yep.
That's fair.
You can kind of chill back.
Which would be interesting because there are rumors that this could be his last year at McLaren.
I've heard that as well.
Who do you got?
Who do I got for? I personally have the future third-time winner of this race, Alex Palou. I'm making two predictions there. I don't care. I think he can win this 3 times, in my opinion. I just think he has, as Tony said, like that mature mindset. He can really put this race together. I think, what was it, last year, VK spun on pit road and got into him, which really kind of cost him the race, but I think he could have won it last year, too. He got beat by Elio in 21. And then, I mean, but I think after all those experiences, Palou is finally going to break through this season. He's going to win the 500 this year. That's my pick.
Who's rookie of the year?
Rookie of
But you can't say
500?
Kyle Larson. So we know Kyle Larson's going to get rookie of the year. But who's the highest finishing rookie?
Yeah, we know why he's going to get it.
You know, I'm going to go – I don't know if this is really left field because he's been doing well. I'm going to go with Christian Rasmussen.
Yep.
ECR car, it's hard to go against them doing at least top 15.
Yeah.
So we're doing old rookie of the year, voting wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a toss up between Armstrong and Blomqvist.
Yep.
Don't know why, but I'm Tom Blomqvist. I think he might do something. Maybe finish like 11th. But I think Marcus. I think Marcus Armstrong. He could maybe get a surprise top 8, depending on how yellows fall, maybe how strategy falls, maybe where it starts too. Because track position is key here as well.
Yeah.
I think he could surprise a lot of people. Get him maybe a top 10 and continue this momentum he's had all season because he's looked strong all season.
Last question. I think Rasmussen can be there as well as long as he doesn't overdrive and make mistakes.
Mine's Linus, by the way.
Oh, Linus,
Yeah.
Another question I have is, what's the excitement level for you guys heading into this race? You got the Pacers going on, Pacers and Racers. It's really what you kids call hype. When I was a kid, when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, we saw it back here in like 2013 when the Pacers went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought this might be the only day in my lifetime that I would leave Indianapolis 500 and go straight downtown for a Pacer game. So what are your guys' thoughts been on really your first experience of Pacers and Racers out here?
So
what
for
are
me,
you guys, like 10 years ago? You guys were like 9?
yeah.
9, 10 years old.
11 is close enough.
So for me, it's a lot different now.
You got a real job now.
Well, yeah, and I work out here like all the fucking time, so it is what it is. But I don't know, like the energy level is a little different this year.
Yeah.
And maybe it is the Pacers taking the juice out of it. And that's not to say it in a bad way by any means, because I'm very happy that the Pacers are in the playoffs. It's the first time we've seen it since I was like 8.
Yeah.
So like I'm really happy that that's the reason the juice may be kind of pulled out of this place this season.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe for me it's just some life things and working out here all the time that's pulled some juice. But I'm still 100% in love with all of this. I'm very happy. I'm very excited to see the Indianapolis 500 this year, the 108th running. So
My 31st, yay!
Yeah.
30th anniversary, but 31st race.
yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what carb day is for me.
We love that for you.
Anyway,
Happy 65th birthday to Danny Bridges too coming up.
Danny Bridges, yeah.
Happy
Next
birthday,
Friday
Uncle
or next
Danny.
Thursday. Sorry, next Thursday.
early happy birthday, Uncle Danny.
Yeah.
I would say I do think there is there's somewhat of a different energy here. However, it's only Fast Friday. Qual weekend is not even here yet. Race weekend's not even here yet. So I can't quite tell if it's just like a few day thing where it's been rainy, people aren't really out here.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And last year we had good weather and we had a chance to see some huge speeds.
Yeah.
And today we're sitting at what, like 2:32 so far is the fastest.
Yeah.
That's still bad fast, but it's not kind of what we saw
Like last year we were going like 2:36.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
But even then, you could, from the outside, you could say, oh, it kind of feels like this is like a weird year where people aren't as excited. But then we've been up pit road. You can barely get past Kyle Larson's pit. People are really excited about Kyle Larson. Whether you love him or hate him, it's hard to acknowledge that he's a big deal. Him running this race is a big deal. He's bringing the NASCAR audience versus someone like Grosjean is bringing a F1 audience. It's hard to argue that there are different eyes watching this race that might not be watching in person. And so I think it's kind of subjective to say, oh, it feels like a big deal, feels like not a big deal. Because it kind of feels like both at the same time. And I don't know if it's the fact that we're here all the time. I don't know if it's just not necessarily burnout, just the fact that it's not it doesn't feel like it's new because we're here every day. I think it's probably something to do with that. But I do think there is an excitement level but it's just hard to pinpoint exactly what it is.
Yeah, I think the excitement's there. We've seen. I think grandstand tickets are still not fully sold out, but we're I think around a few thousand. I think still left.
Lift the blackout already, would you?
Yeah, lift that too,
Exactly.
please. But I think the excitement's there through the ticket sales. I think I agree with everyone. The rain I think has played a factor. Usually, I think we've seen good turnout over the past few years for practice, middle of the week. Still got Carb Day to come up, so I think this place is going to be packed this weekend and next week. But I want to say the recent those low TV ratings. I don't know if they're going to play a factor into the excitement because those have been kind of a buzzkill. Seeing 700,000 viewers for a race on Big NBC, that might have to put a damper on things.
Man, it's big Renus.
Greatest VK on track.
And maybe some social media from them. People are like, I don't want to tune into a week's worth of practice at Indy. But I'm obviously excited. This is the month I live for every year. So it's I'm always going to be excited for anything they do out here. Maybe I'll give the road course race an exception. It's a decent time out here. But I think there's still excitement to be had. It's just. I agree with Daniel. It is both. I do feel that. And I think we got enough compelling storylines to make this month exciting.
Yeah.
Do we think maybe it's like a marketing thing? Could it be a marketing?
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
We don't want to open that can of worms.
This edition of
I knew
Boys
what was gonna get them going. So.
That's a whole other podcast for another
That'll
day.
get us all going.
I got Gerard. Never mind.
Give me a year to graduate.
Yeah.
Give me a year.
But yeah. Okay. Tony.
Thanks for having me.
Well, no. You gotta answer your question for the excitement level.
I mean, yeah, look, it's always cool to come out here. I appreciate, obviously being credentials. I know that we all do. You can't control the rain, and it does get frustrating. I know a lot of fans want more practice time, but it seems like most of the drivers don't. Even with the rain, there's still plenty of time.
Yeah.
I think what would be cool, is to have Friday's practice for Carb Day is good. It's a good practice, but you just don't want to F anything up. The Monday practice after qualifying is it's like a 2-hour race. Yeah. I'd like to maybe 2 or 3 years ago they ran that on Sunday afternoon. I wouldn't mind just an action-packed, jam-filled Saturday at pole day and have your pole sitters Saturday night. Yeah. And come out Sunday and have a 3-4 hour practice where everybody's out running in their race trips. So that would be a nice suggestion. But I'm excited. It is easy to get frustrated with the sport and how it markets itself, and how everybody outside of 465 sees it.
He's going on it.
And how everybody outside of I-465 sees it. It's a great sport, but it's a sensory sport, right? People watch it on TV and are like, oh, they're going a lap. When you come out and you see it, you feel it, and you hear it, and you talk to the drivers, and you realize they lose 10 pounds in a race, and you realize the physical demands that go on their body that are just the average human being.
It changes the perspective.
I do think, and this is a take that not a lot of people are going to like, but I think the car's a little bit too safe at times. we saw a spectacular crash and Nolan upside down, but I'm not saying I want to see guys get hurt. But still, to strap yourself into a 235-mile-an-hour space shuttle, basically a rocket, is still absolutely batshit crazy, and it's exciting. So I'm excited for the race. I'm excited for Carb Day. If you don't have your plans, come on out to Lucas Oil Raceway next Friday night. A little plug here. Check out
Night Classic.
Carb Night Classic. We got 2 sprint car races: the Hoosier 100, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 race. I'll be spotting for Jay Howard. We're gonna have a good time.
All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this installment of the Indy Boys Racing Podcast.
A little weird one.
Yeah, it is a little weird one. But yeah, big thank you to Tony. Big thank you to AJ for both coming out. Big penis Renus.
Shout out Big Renus.
Big penis Renus.
Shout out Tristan too.
Shout out
we miss
Tristan.
him.
Yeah,
Tristan
is sick. He's down for the count. He will kick out of it eventually. We have faith.
We have faith. But for now, we're gonna carry this on. It's gonna be okay. So, all right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, of course.
And it's been a fun episode, I think.
Get your pet spayed and neutered.